everybody, I am Rafaela and I work in the marketing insight team at Google, meaning that I run research to uncover insights about consumers and about businesses. And today I'm here with Olga to talk to you about great web experience and what it might mean for you. In particular, we want to share the results of two studies that we have run in 2019 and early 2020. I will cover the first one, that is mobile pains and incremental gains, while Olga will walk you through the milliseconds make million. I will start to talk to you about the mobile pains and incremental gains by sharing with you this key number. This is 27 billion, and it represents the estimated revenue opportunity on mobile sites, or as we call M sites, across EMEA and across travel and retail industries. And this opportunity is there to be taken if only the brands are able to deliver a seamless experience to our customers on the mobile sites. But where does this number come from? So let's rewind and let's start from the beginning. So we know that the shoppers nowadays are browsing more from the mobile devices than any others. But then when it comes to conversion, let's say purchasing, they tend to go to other devices like desktop. So our hypothesis is that brands are really missing out on an incremental conversion on mobile. So what did we do to help them to find a solution? We have run these studies about the incremental gains and the pains on mobiles. So let's dig on the results. So first of all, we have worked with Skim third-party agency throughout the 2019. And we spoke with 18,000 people across 15 markets in EMEA and in 5 industries that are flights, accommodation, holidays package, consumer electronics, and fashion. I want to point out that this study has been run in 2019, while all those verticals were operating in a business as usual mode. However, despite today they are all heavily disrupted, we still think that those results will be really relevant, especially in the future recovery plans. So let's start from the beginning and to untangle what we have uncovered. So the mobile today is used very much by consumers because it's flexible and because it allows them to get instant gratification for impulse shopping needs. Imagine somebody that is on the go and it has like a short burst of free time to fill. Or imagine that no matter the time, no matter the place, people heard about a flash sale online and they want to catch it. Well, the mobile is helping you to do so, right? And in this context, desktop is increasingly becoming impractical and inconvenient, simply because we never have our laptop always with us. It doesn't fit in a pocket, right? And so as the consumer sees playing back here in this verbatim, that's why also mobile are becoming simply more convenient and more immediate to use. In addition, apps are as well on the smartphone, so all good here. But on the other side, they are also demanding in terms of resources, for instance, storage space and batteries. Also, it doesn't allow to browse freely as the mobile sites allows people to do, that they can simply jump from one to another. So they're actually narrowing down a lot the type of research that you can do on the apps. However, despite all these positive elements about mobile and M sites, what is happening is that 62% of people prefer to purchase from either like desktop or apps, or they simply go offline. So why is that? Is it because people have a total aversion towards mobile and the tiny screens? Or is there any other reasons? Well, the answer is coming from the next chart that says that actually only 6% of those consumers have a total aversion towards mobile web. The other 68% actually found some barriers during the journey of purchasing, and this is what put them off really. And this is what we call experiential type of barriers. So actually it's a good news for us, because if it is experiential, definitely there is something we can do to help the people to overcome those barriers. So let's dig on the study results to really understand which are those barriers. Before doing that, we need to say that nowadays consumers don't have a linear journey anymore, because they start to think about the product that they want to purchase, and then they go into what we call exploration and evaluation phase, that is synthesized in the word messy middle. But don't take me wrong, they actually enjoy spending time in this phasing, exploring all the options, evaluating all the options, and then deciding what is best for us and purchasing. However, what we observed on the mobile is that the people get stuck at this phase, and then they simply drop from the purchase, so they do not convert there. So why? What is happening? Something must be wrong at this point. And what we uncovered with this study is that actually there are 10 different buyers that people are actually meeting in this messy middle phase. And those are scrolling fatigue, unfulfilled autofill, fragmented comparison, bringing items to life, persistent pop-ups, information blindside, the search struggle, missing details, less in sync with the brand, and the regrettable refresh. So as we said, let's plot all of these barriers against the previous journey that I showed you before. And we realize the majority of them are actually concentrated in the exploration and the evaluation phase. So our hypothesis was correct. Something goes wrong here, and it's so badly affecting consumers that they simply stop to purchasing on that device. But looking at this chart, you might also think that actually there are many of those barriers and you cannot address all of them at the same time. And which are the crucial ones for the consumer? Which one to prioritize? We did this exercise for you, and we uncovered that actually there are top 5 barriers that are particularly key for consumers. And those are the ones that are able to generate the majority of the additional revenues for the brands. Those are scrolling fatigue. The scrolling fatigue is the ubiquitous and monotonous scrolling functionalities that people have to go through when they are searching for information, when they are searching for the best option, when they're searching for more opportunities and more occasion for them. But actually, this process is becoming more and more, boring and overwhelming and aimless. And so consumers get lost and suddenly they drop from the purchase journey. The second one is unfulfilled autofill. Essentially, this is the need that consumers have to retrieve personal information in order to not to fill very tiny forms on a very tiny screen. The third one is fragmented comparison. So imagine that you are purchasing something from a desktop. You open different tabs, you can click from one tab to another and compare the offers in a very easy way. But imagine doing that on a mobile phones. People sometimes don't remember how to retrieve all the tabs that they have open. Sometimes they press the arrow that brings them back, but they lose the search they were making, and so this is frustrating them immensely. And so they drop. Bringing item to life. So this is about product and experiences not optimally represented on the online world. And so people don't feel very much confident about what they're purchasing and simply drop from the purchase as well. And then persistent pop-ups. So pop-ups and information that are overloading the people are taking actually a very precious space of the tiny screen. And this is also distracting the consumers. I see a pop-up, I started to think about something else, and I forget sometimes about purchasing. Of course, those are the top 5 barriers according to the consumers. But we also need to discuss with each and every one of you which one is more relevant for your business, because some of them might be already addressed by you, some other are new. So let's discuss together also about which are the key priorities for you. But nevertheless, if we put all the 5 barriers that I just described to you across the 15 markets and across all those 5 industries, this is how we calculated this 27 billion opportunity. That is divided as following: 6 billion opportunity in flights, 3 billion opportunity in accommodation, 7 billion opportunity in holiday package, 4 billion in consumer electronics, 7 billion in fashion. And I want to point out once again that this is incremental opportunity. That means that this is the monetary estimation of all those journeys that started on the smartphone, but they never ended on a smartphone, or that they never been performed on any other devices or offline. So actually it's the missed opportunity that we have calculated here. So imagine somebody that wants to purchase a new gym gear. It probably starts, like to open a couple of sites on the smartphone, but then the information are overwhelming, the forms are too time consuming to fill, and then they tend to stop altogether. And so they might just decide to use the old gear that they have at home or simply never enter in the workout. So this is definitely a suboptimal experience, both for the seller and also for the buyers. And for sure, some of your customers have felt like that probably they felt lost, So what can you do to help them in order to provide solutions, seamless experience, and also getting them to purchase from you? We have started to brainstorm on some of these solutions. For each of the barriers, we started to plot which could be the Google solution that can actually help you. For instance, unfulfilled autofill. Why don't you think about implementing GPay or any other payment solution that are actually helping consumers to retrieve their information and avoiding them to input the credit card number all the time, or simply an autofill in form. So we have started, as we said, just penciling some of those solutions for each of the barriers. But once again, some of them might be more fitting for you, some other less. Well, now we reach the end of this presentation, and I really hope you have a good glimpse and understanding about all the hurdles that our consumers in EMEA are facing when they are purchasing on mobile sites. However, there is a sixth barrier, let's say, that is very important. It's playing silently behind the scenes, but it's very, very, very important, and this is the speed. And now I will hand over to Olga that will tell you more about that.
Thank you, Rafaela, and hello, everyone. My name is Olga, and I'm leading marketing for mobile web. Today, I want to talk to you about the sixth user pain, site speed. Now we know that a slow site is a bad user experience. In fact, if a site takes longer than 1 second to load, users start losing focus. However, it didn't come up as one of the main reasons for participants of our mobile pains and gains study to abandon their purchase journey. So could it be that although slow speed creates some kind of friction for users, it doesn't actually deter them from buying on this site, and so subsequently has no business impact? We decided to find that out in another study. So what exactly did we do? We wanted to isolate speed as a user experience metric and see how it alone impacts revenue-related KPIs, such as progression users through the site, bounce rates, page views, conversion rates, and so on. We've commissioned 55 data agency and Deloitte Digital to conduct this research for us. Jointly, we've contacted over 70 brands, some with big international names, and asked them to share their data with us. After rigorous audits of their web and analytics setup, 37 were considered viable to participate in this research. We've monitored them over a 4-week period in October and November 2019, recording data on over 30 million user sessions. Now, I want to note that the study was done pre-coronavirus outbreak, yet we still think that the results are insightful and relevant, and we decided to share them with you. These 37 brands represented 4 verticals: retail, luxury, travel, and lead generation. To clarify, when I say lead generation, I mean your typical insurance site, car dealerships, even your gym membership site. So anywhere where a purchase doesn't happen necessarily online, but there is some mechanism for users to express interest in your offering. So what exactly did we do? We've decided what pages on these sites we're going to track, what kind of speed metrics we're interested in, and what kind of revenue-related KPIs are relevant for each vertical. We then recorded both speed data and the revenue-related KPIs for every hour in the span of 30 days. We then merged the 2 datasets together and run some regression analysis on it to see if there are any statistically significant correlations. And indeed, the results were very interesting. So, what were the results of this study? The key overarching result was that site speed matters. In fact, improvement in site speed increased the likelihood of users progressing further through the website. It also encouraged people to view more pages, convert better, and even purchase more. Let's have a look at retail. This is your typical retail funnel. A user lands on the home page, goes into the product listing page, jumps into a specific product detail page, adds this product to basket, goes through the checkout flow, which can be a one-step checkout or multiple-step checkout, and finally submits the order. Now, let's have a look at how 0.1 second improvement of site speed metrics across the site impact the likelihood of users progressing further through this purchase journey. Positive impact across the board, with only exception of the homepage to product listing page. What's happening there? Our hypothesis is that on a faster homepage, promo banners are also loading faster, so users click on those rather than jumping to the category page. Also, I want to note that these are percentages, not percentage points. But the most interesting finding for us was a 9% increase in the add to basket rate. This is a very critical step when a user actually decides to buy something from your site, and also a very significant impact. Now, let's have a look at luxury. Luxury purchases typically don't happen online. So we tracked users going to the Add to Basket step or Contact Us page. And again, positive impact across the board. You might even think that the numbers look too high to be true. But keep in mind that the progression rates on luxury sites tend to be quite small. So if only 0.5% of your users progress from product detail page to Add to Basket step, then a 40% improvement will bring this number up to 0.7%, which is still quite significant, but sounds a little bit more realistic. But the most interesting finding for us was an increase in page views. Apparently, on a faster luxury site, users will view on average 8% more pages. And now, let's have a look at travel. Here I want to stress again that the study was done pre-coronavirus outbreak, so when no travel restrictions were in place. Also, we don't have any numbers on the product listing page to the add-ons tab. This is due to the fact that travel journeys varied widely across travel sites. Some had no add-ons, some had add-ons in different order, so we decided to omit the step at the vertical level. Now let's have a look at results. Again, positive impact across the board. And probably the most impressive was a 10% increase in booking rates on faster travel sites. And finally, let's have a look at lead generation. Lead generation funnels are the shortest. Users either go to the information page where they read more about a specific policy or offering, or they submit a form. And again, positive impact across the board, especially on the form submission step, which is very crucial. And similar to the luxury funnel, we did see an increase in page views. Apparently, on a faster lead generation site, users tend to view on average 7% more pages. Now, some brands already understood the impact site speed has on their business results. Farfetch, an online fashion retail platform, created their own performance business calculator to estimate the impact of any new design change. For each new design change, they see how that will impact their load times and subsequently their revenue, so they can make an informed decision whether to implement this design change or not. Now, this was a very short overview of the study. If you want to see the full set of the results we've got, understand methodology a little bit deeper, or read about other brands that embrace site speed, please download the full report using this short link. We'll also include it in the materials for this session. And the members of the research team will join us for Q&A. Now, what does it all mean for you? First, users still experience pains when they are shopping on mobile. And eliminating those barriers has a tangible business impact. We've identified the most common barriers, so go and check how you score on them. Also recommend linking your UX and speed data to your business data, so you have a viable business case for any new UX decision, and also you can justify investing more resources in better user experience with your stakeholders. And finally, although we did identify some of the most common user pains and barriers, they might not be relevant for your vertical or your specific site. Go and conduct your own user testing, A/B tests, and speed monitoring to see how users are reacting and what pains are they experiencing when they're landing on your site. This will be a long journey, but will be a very rewarding one. Now, I want to mention the Think with Google resources we have available on our events site. Go to the Think with Google resource page and find some useful tips on working from home, managing your marketing during uncertain times, and also building excellent mobile experiences. And now it's time for the live Q&A. As I mentioned, the members from both research teams will join us to answer your questions about the studies and the methodologies. So please stay on. See you in a minute.